Alright, last one is Monica. Hi, JRG. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, JRG. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like this one. It makes me think of something Sayori would like. Okay. So, like I said, we specifically went after Natsuki. And the second one was Yuri. But here she's saying it's for Sayori. So, I have seen people, I've seen one playthrough of this, which leads me to believe that we are forced into a Sayori path no matter what we do. But let's keep going. Is that so? I didn't write it for her whatsoever. You and Sayori are really good friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you had those sorts of things in common. Well, we may be good friends, but Sayori and I are actually really different. Also, I wrote the poem for Natsuki. Well, that may be the case, but there are also some similarities that you wouldn't expect. The way she talks about you, it sounds like the two of you really care about each other's well-being. So, here's a question. Does Monica know that possibly Sayori likes me? And so she's like trying to push us in that direction. She's like, oh yeah, you made that poem for Sayori, right? I mean, clearly Sayori really likes you and you two are so similar. She's kind of being a wingman for Sayori here. Even if you show it in different ways, it ends up being more similar than you'd think. So I think that's the kind of vibe I get when reading your poem. You're sure you're not reading into it too much? I could be. Oh gosh, I sound like Yuri. But in any case, Sayori's writing has kind of a gentle feel to it. I can tell that she likes exploring with emotions like happiness and sadness. Who knew that someone so happy would enjoy sad things too? Yeah, that's totally unexpected. Well, to each their own. And you shouldn't be afraid to experiment a little bit either. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Oh. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes? A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No! I can't see. I reel, blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with the permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything, a hole of infinite choices. I realized that I wasn't looking in. I wasn't looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. Okay, I think this poem is actually kind of important. at this point in time. I don't know how much I want to ruin it for people who haven't seen the full playthrough, but this is Monica essentially becoming self-aware. So, for those of you who do know how this ends, I do want to kind of point out a few things. This first part sounds like a murder scene. And it almost seems like she's having an out-of-body experience looking at her body? Possibly? Because she says it couldn't have been me. Unless she's talking about a murder scene and she's like, I didn't do it. So see the direction of the spackle protrudes, which seems like it would be blood. That seems... And then this is like a noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend, I'll never know, I wasn't home. Like, this is who it could have been. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. So she's blinded by something. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. So, like, this image of whatever she's seeing is just kind of burned into her mind. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. So, my first thought is that this could potentially be a bullet wound. Because there would be a hole in someone's body. I don't know what the bright would mean. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. And that would kind of go with perhaps a bullet wound. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. And then this part kind of goes off into, like, now I'm almost not even really sure what's happening here. Because now this gets into the meta. A hole of infinite choices. This is obviously a dating sim game where you have a lot of choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. So she's realizing that she's a part of the game and she's not the person looking in on the fake world. She's in this fake world and she's talking about us, and he on the other side, he was looking in. So we're playing the game. We're the he that's actually looking in, I think. Perhaps that's my possible take on this. Hole in the wall is an interesting way of putting it. So, I want to just throw that out there. Anyway. Because her palms are going to get more meta and more revealing on possibly kind of what's happening in this game. So I wanted to kind of throw out maybe some bits and pieces of interpretation as I go. So, what do you think? It's very freeform. Is that what you call it? Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. So this line is also alluding back to the fact that she is now realizing that she's a character in a game, and she is looking out. Okay, anyway. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes, when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for the day. Thanks for listening. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monika are happily chatting. My eyes landed on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out as nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. Huh. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and JRG did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And JRG liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Whoa. And the music stopped. Alright. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Oh, that music. That music's good. That kind of reminds me of, like, Paper Mario music. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that JRG appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I was the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as JRG started showing up. Natsuki! Oh, this is funny. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. This doesn't involve you. I don't like the fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me as if they noticed I was standing there. JRG, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making her poems all convoluted or for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, JRG. Wait, there's no reason we have to... There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, JRG? Well? How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. But whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. Alright, so we're gonna go with Natsuki, just because we're gonna stay the course. I don't know if I have a feeling Sayori is gonna jump out and help anyway, but let's go for it. Yuri, you're really talented. Well, but Natsuki has a point. I think that I crack my brain in an attempt to back myself up. I think that conveying feeling with few words can be just as impressive as well. It lets the reader's imagination take over, and Natsuki's poems did a really good job at that. Yeah. I did, didn't it? Oh, it did, didn't it? Shows how much you know. That's not... Natsuki, I think that's enough. Huh? Me? But she was so mean to me. Natsuki's voice whines. Look, what we talked about yesterday was right. Writing is a really personal thing, and sharing it can be definitely hard. It looks like we learned that today. Even small criticism can lead to something pretty heated. I glance over my shoulder. Sayori is nodding vigorously. Yeah, so you don't need to feel threatened. You're a great writer, Natsuki. Natsuki's voice gets caught in surprise. Thanks for noticing. She finally mutters that, barely audible. Yuri looks at me dejectedly, with a face that I can't help but feel bad for her as well. I'm sure that Natsuki didn't mean everything she said, so you don't need to feel threatened either. Well, if you say so. Hey, it's not like you need to apologize for me, JRG. Jeesh. Natsuki takes a breath. The thing about, Natsuki glances around the room. But everyone stops staring at me? Unsurprisingly, Natsuki has a harder time with it than she boasted. Sayori and Monica look away. Humph. Anyway, the thing about your boobs, I didn't mean it, okay? That's all. Natsuki looks away, avoiding eye contact with everyone. Oh my god. Yeah, they're naturally beautiful, Yuri. Sayori. I'll go make some tea. Eh? I was just trying to help. I'm sure she appreciated it, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. Well, now that we're past that, everyone's read each other's poems, right? I hope that it was worthwhile for everyone. Especially you, JRG. And to be honest, it's a nice change of pace from the lazing around we got a little too used to. So me joining the club was responsible for ruining the atmosphere? No, not at all. Not at all. There's still time before we go home, so we'll all relax for a bit. Of course, besides chatting, we do literature-related things in the club room, so maybe you can take the chance to pick up a book or do some writing. After all, that's what the club is for. I disagree, Monica. Eh? About what? That's not the most important thing about the literature club. The most important thing is having fun. Of course. Well, I guess that's why you're the vice president, Sayori. In the end, though, Monica's right. Being in the literature club probably means I can't spend all my time doing nothing. But in the end, I guess it's been worth it so far. Okay, everyone. It's about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. JRG, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about. With everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow, and maybe you'll learn something from your friends too, so your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, did I learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes? With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. JRG, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori? About what happened earlier.
Eh? What do you mean?
You know, between Yuri and Natsuki? Does that kind of thing happen often?
No. That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you?
No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you.
Phew! You know, JRG, it's nicest that I get to spend time with you in the club, but I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too.
That's...
Every day is going to be so much fun.
It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. I mean, I don't know how she doesn't realize. She read the poem. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulders. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes.
Okay! Yeah! Let's do this.
Oh, that was me. Alright, and with that, I am going to end this gameplay. Next time we are going to write a poem for one of these girls, and they're gonna like it. They're gonna like it a lot. So stay tuned next time, and maybe I'll write another crappy poem. Who's to say? Alright. Goodbye, everybody!